Welcome to the StockMiner.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your Stockminer Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple. Quick things to note. Ken, I know you sent me an email telling me that you signed up for the newsletter and have not received any emails from me yet, and I've sent you probably 4 or 5 of them now. Check your spam box. Sometimes my first few emails get shuttled into a spam or something like that. Check that first and see if that's where they're hiding, and then add me to your white list or your OK list or whatever it is from your side. It's different for a whole bunch of different programs. If not, send me an email and or better yet, call me and we'll work a way to get this figured out and try to get you on the right road. So Ken, if you're listening, please let's take care of that. The second thing is, it's a beautiful day again here in South Dakota. For those of you that aren't familiar with South Dakota, it's very common for us to get a week, maybe two, of really cold weather, and then for it to warm up for a good week and kind of melt everything away, and that's what we're seeing. We've been seeing consistent days of 40 to 50 degrees, and when you're used to 0 to 10, let me tell you, get out the short sleeves, fire up the grill, and get out the Tommy Bahama shorts, because that's what we do when it gets 50 degrees outside. We've got sunroof is open and everybody's it's summertime, and that's what we're seeing the last few days. So for those of you that have always been interested in a little bit more about South Dakota, western South Dakota is in something called the Banana Belt. It's a beautiful place to be. You should come visit sometime. All right, moving on. Markets moving up. Gee, not a big surprise. After yesterday, I said important to watch if they break levels, but more important if they close below levels, and we did not see them close below those levels. They held those levels, which led to a little bit of a tick up today. Some things more than others. Baidu up 50 or so plus today based on the Google Google might be leaving China news, which added to the Baidu stock a lot. That was an incredible move. Anyway, a move up today nonetheless. Still nothing broken, as I said. Nothing's broken from the bull side. Still nothing broken from the bull side. It's still a very bullish market. Still neutral to bullish on all of this, even though we had a little bit of a red candle yesterday. You can see the recovery today. Look at the Dow moving up and above that 10,600 mark after closing above 10,600 yesterday. You can see it continuing its march upwards. Still neutral to bullish on this. Have to be. Looking at a daily chart, the Dow poking its head up for a while, then moving back down. Now, there is actually a pretty good reason that some of these indices turned where they did. I'll be showing that later on, but you can see it kind of coming up here to a high of 10,709. Now we're going to see probably resistance, or a little bit of resistance, about every 100 points on the Dow. We're really once again, we're in an area that's very overbought right here. It needs to correct, but once again, it's a matter of when, not a matter of today. The markets do not care when you think it needs to reverse. It will reverse when it's ready, and until that time, continue to play this neutral to long in all of your in your initial approach when you get into trading in the morning. So here we have a high base formation, which I mentioned yesterday. It looks like we might be starting one. This is still the start of a high base formation. Same type of thing. Move up, move sideways, move up, move sideways. Same song, different verse. Moving on to the NASDAQ, you can see on the 60-minute, a very nice move up today in the NASDAQ. Now, it obviously was the weakest yesterday and the strongest today. So I said I wouldn't be too concerned about the tech stocks. They have a tendency to pull themselves back up quickly because, well, they are tech stocks. I'm sure Baidu had a big part to do with this today. But you can see the march upwards, up and above all of these moving averages. Not much of a trade, unless of course you took a shot down here yesterday. Otherwise, not much of a trade in this area from a real tradable standpoint. I probably would not have been looking to take a trade in the NASDAQ today. Up and above these, maybe, but it would have been a very, very small short trade for me. From a daily standpoint, you can see it moving its way back off of the 20-day moving average. Once again, see how well this 20-day held? 1856.05. What was the low today? 1855.27. So about a point below it before recovering. Now coming back up to retest the underside of this. Let's see if this holds. You know how I love it when this thing breaks and then retests. That usually gives me my kiss of death formation. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. Any break up and over 19, broken formation in that case, and it would be continued long in the NASDAQ from a weekly standpoint. I said yesterday we were down here, but I don't usually, look at these until Thursday or Friday, and you can see why. This candle's already starting to look different. So we'll take a closer look at that tomorrow night for the weekly charts. SPX on a 60, moving back up very strong today, retesting almost the high. You can see the high today of 1148.40, just about a point below the high we had the other day. So very strong move up by the SPX, continuing its march to the upside. We're still waiting for an initial break of this 1150, and it might even take a couple attempts to get up and over 1150. So on a break of 1150, you'll want to keep a tight stop if you go long, just in case it pulls back and the selling pressure comes in. It might take a couple of tries if it's going to actually break 1150. From a daily standpoint, the XPX holding nicely to this overhead resistance as we see here, moving back up and above, now breaking above yesterday's high and closing above yesterday's high. So still no reason not to think that we can't go a little bit higher. Obviously 1150 is the first line to be watching over the next couple days. From a weekly standpoint, once again, candle looks completely different than it did yesterday. So we'll take a closer look at that tomorrow, and then obviously tomorrow, and then obviously Friday will give us our definite answer of where we're at for the week, weekly charts. And the VIX moving down ever so slightly today, 42 cents down here, still staying below now these two areas of support and resistance, hanging out with this dotted line. We'll see if the markets continue its move up. We may finish at this dotted line or down here at this green line by the end of the week. Apple on a 60-minute had a very nice day today,